What's up, YouTube? Dialed Sportsman here. Wanted to bring you guys an option for your scope. If you're not looking to paint your scope, this is another option for you. So here you can see I have a rifle. This is a Savage in 17 HMR. And I didn't want to paint my scope because the paint's not the easiest to take off. I didn't know how it would look. And I didn't know if I'd be running this optic on something else as well. So this is how it turned out. And the match is pretty close, not dead on, but I'm happy with it. What I used was cohesive bandage. So this stuff right here. And I found this set on Amazon. I think it was something around 12 bucks. But it comes with 7 big rolls like this right here, and then 2 of these smaller rolls as well. So what I did was I used the bigger roll on a section like this and wrapping around this right here. I did do it with it on the rifle, so it is possible. You could take the scope off and put it on before you put your rings on. But you know, if you're going to be moving around or you're not sure how it's going to fit with the mount, you might want to at least put your kind of like line it up with how it'll fit on the rifle and then put your rings on. And then I use the smaller one in right here. I mean, this stuff works pretty well. You could cut it up too if you have a specific way, or you can wrap it around the whole thing. But the reason why I did wrap it kind of like this is I can still see all of my zoom levels right here. So that's all I need. I also left a little bit of room when you take off the scope packs caps back here, and this will help with my focus back here, my focus ring right around here, and same goes up here. So I just left a little bit of room, and you know, if I didn't like this, I could just easily strip it off. I mean, this won't take very long, 15 minutes tops if you're trying to get it lined up just perfectly. And I'll show you guys how to do this on a fresh scope here. So what I do is I take, as I'm kind of getting the amount of material I need, I stretch it out to a point where it's about one wrapping. It's about one wrapping around the scope, and that'll be plenty of material. But as you can see, if I had it all the way forward from my focus ring back here, it does cover up my zoom levels just a little bit up here. So if you can see these little numbers right here, those are all my zoom levels. So what I'm going to do is off camera real quick, I'm actually going to take just a little bit of material off the side. So I have the perfect amount that I want for this section here. So yeah. All right, you guys, I'm back. I did just strip off a little, probably not even a 1/4 inch section along the long side here. So now I have about what I'm looking for as far as length. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on now. So what you want to do is you want to stretch it out real tight. So starting here, I'll give it a real tight pull around for this first wrap and try to get it lined up the best I can. That's looking pretty good. So I'll keep pulling it around. And keeping it tight, you want to finish it real tight so it secures it real nice. Okay, so not my prettiest attempt right there. I could definitely clean up that a little bit. It's on there nice and secure though. You want to kind of press it in a little bit. And personally for aesthetics, I don't want this seam right here. So once you have it on, you can just twist it around to the bottom. And again, I probably could have put that on a little bit better. But you know, if you mess up, you can always just redo it. Not a big deal. Again, it's not permanent. That's kind of the point of this. And I'll line it up so I can see all of my zoom levels and just make sure it looks nice and flush all the way around. So yeah, that's about what I'm looking for right there. So I can see all my zoom levels still. I can adjust my focus level still. And then I would do that for the rest of the section too. Up here, you know, you could trim it down to this exact length before you hit your scope caps. Or you could wrap it just all the way around too and have a little bit more of that color. Completely up to you. But personal preference there, you know, I would probably trim it down so it's nice and tight. You can, you know, take the smaller section or a big section and cut it down and get it in between here and here too. You know, it'll be a little bit tricky to do, but it can be done. As you can see, I did it right here with everything mounted. Or, you know, if you don't have a one-piece mount and you have the two-piece mount, you could take off your rings and take the whole scope off, wrap it, and then put it back on too. But this is kind of what the finished product looks like. And again, yeah, great option if you want to try out different colors, see what it looks like. It'll help you prevent any damage down the road. A little bit less messy than painting. Cerakote is very permanent. Painting is a little bit difficult or can be tricky to remove. And I don't want paint thinner personally getting like kind of near some of the optic O-rings or, you know, I just don't know what that's going to do. I haven't read into it too much and I'm sure it's fine or there's ways to do it, but that's just not the route I wanted to go. So that's why I did this. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this. If you guys have tried this method out or tried any other methods, I'd love to hear about what you guys do. So yeah, definitely let me know. If you like this video, feel free to jump on board and subscribe. I will be having a lot more videos coming out very, very soon. So yeah, thanks guys. Take care. A quick tip for you guys, when you are taking off your first wrap, the reason why you kind of get the amount of one wrap and kind of measure it and then cut it before you put the whole wrap on is it'll kind of lose its adhesive if you stretch it out first and then play around with it and then go back and trim any edges for excess. It'll start to lose its adhesive once you take it off the roll and you stretch it out a lot. So this one I played around with a little bit already. And I'll just put it on this section real quick to show you. I'm not going to do it my finest work here, but so I already played around with this one a little bit, and if I let go of it, it kind of just comes off right away. So that's why once you're taking it off and kind of measuring, you want to wait to stretch it until the very, very end, because after you do that, it starts to not want to adhere as well. You could glue it, sure, you could splint it or something, but I mean, you get so much rolls with one of these sets that, you know, if you mess up, it's really not that big of a deal. There's plenty of material in one roll to try it multiple times. So, you know, if you do get it wrong, you can actually use the piece that you got wrong to kind of play around with to see how it will wrap and fit on kind of odd sections. So, you know, like right here, if I were to wrap it on this part, I can just see kind of how that would look you know, if I did that a little bit cleaner. If I wanted to wrap a larger section, maybe a section where it'll contour a little bit more and it'll still mount fine down here. But yeah, as you can see, it won't stick. So anyway, you know, and if you are doing a long section like this one right here, where I kind of had to keep wrapping downward, I did the whole thing off the roll. So what I did was I took the roll and I got my first section, you know, stretched it nice and tight. And then I kept rolling. All the way to the point where I got to where I was like, okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to mark it off at this section right here. And so I marked it off at the bottom, and that was my first time doing that. So as you can see, it stuck pretty well. So it actually looks pretty cool. I mean, you know, maybe if I were to keep this on, I'd probably consider just wrapping over this whole section like this here for this LPVO. And I could come back and maybe trim off this little tab right here to make it look a little more clean. So yeah, if you're not sure how much you're gonna need, you could do it kind of like that, like I just showed you here. And on this one, I was able to accomplish that. I think so, or actually, I think once I started getting down a little bit further, I could kind of tell, like, okay, I'm about good on material to finish out this section. And so I'd kind of pull it and stretch it underneath here as I was wrapping around while it was still on the roll, if that makes sense. So yeah, little extra tip for you guys.